Hey guys, welcome to Ali's World of Finance. In this quick video, we're going to be talking about the reasons why I'm switching from E-Trade to Robinhood. Now, I've used other brokerage accounts before, but I switched to E-Trade a few months ago, and so I've been using E-Trade for the last few months. It was my favorite, but recently I started playing around with Robinhood, and I've been excited to make this video, but I wanted to spend more time with Robinhood so that I could actually give you more information and a better opinion on Robinhood. So I'm ready to do that, and I'm ready to switch, and I'm in the process of switching my portfolio from E-Trade to Robinhood. Now, before we get started, let me just say this. These numbers and figures can change at any moment, so that nobody gets mad at me, just consider this hypothetical in my opinion. But let's go ahead and get started. Now, with E-Trade and more popular brokerage account websites, you obviously have a lot more analytical tools, a lot more ways to look at your stocks and research them more in depth. With Robinhood, it's mostly an application on your phone where you do most of your trading on your actual phone. So it's a lot more limited in all the tools and different things like that. However, I use other websites anyway. I don't really use the E-Trade website for all of my data analysis and things like that for my stocks. So that doesn't really apply to me, so I don't really care about that. It may apply to you, you may care about that, so that's your situation, but for me it doesn't really matter that much. And I'm not going to get too much into options contracts and bonds and things like that because I don't really invest in that stuff anyway. And I don't want to talk about something that I don't really do. So we're just going to keep it a little more basic on this. Now, when looking at E-Trade, commission costs are standard $6.95 per transaction, you could say. So if you round that to $7, you're basically, every time that you buy a stock, you have to pay $7. Every time that you sell that stock, you have to pay $7 again. So every time you invest in a stock, you're automatically down $14, and that's a big deal. Now, 30 or more trades in a month, they bring the cost down to $4.95. And there's other brokerage accounts out there. I believe Charles Schwab may be the cheapest one. I believe they charge $4.95 standard. But you got to think, guys, commission costs used to be around $10 not that long ago. Now they're coming down to $7. Charles Schwab is coming down to $5. So you have to wonder, why are they coming down? And I think a big reason why is because of things like Robinhood. They charge $0 on commission, which is great. And I'll give you an example of me spending a lot of money on commissions. Nintendo is one of my favorite stocks. I've just been throwing a lot of money at it lately, and I really believe in Nintendo. However, I'm not rich, so I don't have just a huge lump sum of money that I can just throw at Nintendo all at once. So whenever I have money, I like to invest it in Nintendo. It's the one that I believe in the most. I obviously invest in other stocks too, and I do videos on all those, but Nintendo is my favorite one. And so every time that I put money into Nintendo, I get charged $7 every single time. And I can tell you right now, my commission cost for Nintendo stock alone is probably over $100. It's probably closer to $150. And it may even be approaching $200. So I've been spending a lot of money on commission costs just for Nintendo. Okay, that's just for Nintendo. So I'm sick of paying commission costs, to be honest. And I understand that's just part of it. It's something you have to live with. But if another platform comes out and they charge $0, then I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna research it a little bit more to see if it's worth it for me. Now, as far as functionality, E-Trade offers extended hours trading out of the box. You have to sign an agreement because it's a little riskier and you may be dealing with professionals and even computers and things like that. But I've had success with extended hours trading, so I like it, and E-Trade comes with it. Now, Robinhood does not come with extended hours trading. However, it's different if you're talking about Robinhood Gold, which I'll get to in a second. But just out of the box, Robinhood Plain doesn't have it, and that's what I use. I use the plain Robinhood. Now, as far as monthly fees, even yearly fees, as far as I know, they don't charge anything. I haven't been charged anything. So as far as I know, there's no kind of like monthly fees or yearly fees, unless you're talking Robinhood Gold, which I'll get to in a second. Now, when we talk about Nintendo, so Nintendo is my biggest stock, and I have most of my money in Nintendo. It's my biggest stock in my portfolio. And Robinhood doesn't have Nintendo, and I don't know why, but they don't have it. And I think their ticker symbol is NTDOY. I believe that's what it is. E-Trade has it, and Robinhood doesn't. And when I was looking for it, it didn't have it. Now, Robinhood has all the other ones, as far as I know. All the other stocks that I've looked for, all the major ones, has them all. for some reason doesn't have Nintendo, and Nintendo gets transferred over as an ADR stock to and it's available through E-Trade. So that may be a reason why Robinhood doesn't have it, but anyway, it doesn't have it. So that's a big deal to me. So I can't fully transition my whole portfolio yet. I have to wait for Nintendo. I have to wait until I'm ready to sell my Nintendo stock, which I'm not ready for, and I'm really waiting for it to still go up a lot more because I really believe in it. So I'm holding off on that. But as far as the rest of my stocks, I'm selling them, and I'm doing it kind of smart, like in a smart way. I'm trying to sell them when they're up a little bit. I sell them, and then they come down a little bit, and then I rebuy them on Robinhood. And that's sort of what I've been doing, and it's been working out. And I've been slowly transitioning to Robinhood in the course of the last couple months. Now, when looking at Robinhood, so we see a lot of limitations with Robinhood, and you may be asking, how does Robinhood even make any money? They don't charge commissions. Well, this is what Robinhood did. They basically came out for free, and they built a user base because a lot of people started using Robinhood because it's free and zero commissions. Well, now they released Robinhood Gold, which is how they're going to be making their money. So with Robinhood Gold, you have to pay $10 a month, and they add functionality for that. So they add extended hours trading. They add additional buying power, which is like trading on margins. And I don't really mess with that stuff anyway, but I was a little interested in this one because it was 0% interest margin trading. So you got additional buying power at 0% interest, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, because most other ones charge you an interest rate, right? Well, this one doesn't. However, it's done by tiers, and that was kind of the fine print of it all. Like, it's not fine print, but it was a little sneaky, and I'm like, okay, now I'm not interested in it anymore. Because the way that they do it is that you get $2,000 of additional buying power for $10 a month, but if you want more than that, your monthly rate goes up. And I believe it goes up like $10 per like $2,000, something like that. So it goes up per tiers, so it ends up not even being worth it. At $10 a month, it's already $120 a year, so you have to do the math with how much interest the other ones are charging you. And if you want more than $2,000, it's going to go up, so then it's going to be even more. So you'd have to do the math to see if it's worth it. But for me, it's not worth it because I don't even mess with margin trading anyway. And I've talked about it in other videos. You shouldn't really invest with money that you immediately need. If you have rent money and you need it next week for rent, you shouldn't invest that money because the stock could go down. We've seen it happen with AMD and Snapchat where they go down a lot. And then if you need that money, you're going to have to sell that stock, take a huge hit. It's just not worth it. And we've even seen AMD start to come back up a little bit. I think even Snapchat came back up a little bit. So it's much better to wait for that stock to go up and then sell it at a profit and then use that money. So I only invest with money that I don't really need immediately. Now, the thing that I like the most about Robinhood Gold is that they have instant settlements. So what that means is that you can sell a stock and buy a stock and it settles immediately. The money settles immediately and you can transfer to and from your checking or savings account, and it also settles immediately. And that's kind of nice because sometimes you may want to buy stock B and you don't have any money for stock B, but you have a lot of shares in stock A, so you could sell stock A, it settles immediately, and then you buy stock B. Most other platforms, I believe, have a 3-day settlement, but there are some exceptions to that, and there's even exceptions with E-Trade where it kind of settles, but then there's certain rules applied to it. And I don't want to make this video complicated, so I'm not going to get into that. But for the most part, it's nice to have instant settlement. That would probably be my favorite feature of Robinhood Gold. Now, it's $10 a month, so I don't think it's worth it. I don't really mess with it. I stick with the basic, and I mostly do basic investments, and I get $0 commission on it, so it's perfect for me. Now, those are the reasons why I'm switching to Robinhood from E-Trade. I'm not saying that yours is wrong or anything like that. Please, if you have any opinion, let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. I do videos on stocks all the time. And I hope that you all have a wonderful, beautiful day. Take care.